You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
You're planning a vacation, an escape from the day-to-day routine of everyday life. You're looking forward to getting pampered in some sunbathed tropical island getaway, surrounded by cool, balmy breezes, with the soothing, relaxing sounds of calypso music playing distantly in the warm island air. Doesn't it sound wonderful? Well, don't leave your pets at home. They want to go too. Welcome to Travel Tales, the show where you'll get great travel ideas on perfect places for you and your pet. From Paris to paradise, south of the border to the South Seas, Travel Tales will give you cool tips on fun vacation destinations to travel with your pet, pet-friendly hotels, and advice on how to travel safely and happily with your furry best friends. So get ready to pack the bags and the bones with your Travel Tales host,
Janine Franceschi. Hello and welcome to Pet Life Radio. This is Janine Franceschi, your host. And today I am very excited. We're going to be talking with Jeff Marginean, and he is the author of a fantastic book called My Buddy Butch, and it's a book about being a new and single pet dad, and it's fantastic, and you're going to love hearing from him and learning about his experiences with Butch. Right now, stick around. We're going to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Attention passengers, please fasten your seatbelts, put your seat bags and sleeping pets in their full upright position, and prepare for takeoff. Travel Tales will be zooming back with more great travel tips right after this.
Flight 291 is now boarding. All passengers, please proceed to Gate 4.
And who's this traveling with us today?
This is Bailey. She's never flown Midwest Airlines before.
Hi, Bailey. She'll be fine. We take special care of our traveling pets. In fact, our premier pet program was created by an employee and dog lover who believes that pets should be handled as precious cargo. And they are. Oh, and they earn travel rewards too.
Oh, good.
Thanks for flying Midwest Airlines, Bailey. Enjoy your flight. Visit MidwestAirlines.com.
Pets can be a wonderful addition to your life. Keeping them healthy and happy is important. Pet Life Radio presents The Pet Doctor with veterinary media consultant and veterinarian Dr. Bernadine Cruz. Whether you have a dog, cat, reptile, or rabbit, you'll find answers for your pets straight from the vets. The Pet Doctor, on demand every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Attention passengers, we are now approaching our final destination. The weather is sunny and warm. Ocean temperature is a balmy 80 degrees for those of you wishing to doggy paddle. Please exit to the front and see our activities directors on your way out. Have a pleasant stay.
Hi, welcome back to Pet Life Radio. This is Janine Franceschi, and today I am so thrilled to have Jeff Marginean with us. Jeff, are you there?
Yes, I sure am.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Janine?
I'm great, thanks. I had the pleasure of meeting Jeff in New York last week. We were both there for some Westminster events and activities, and we met at the Skybark pet-friendly cocktail event, which was really great. And I had Bo with me, but Butch wasn't there, so I didn't have the opportunity to meet Butch, but I was so glad to meet you.
Yeah, Butch had another engagement.
Previous engagement. He
Yeah,
was unavoidably detained.
He is. He's very booked up with the book coming out and his appearances, and But no, he with all the hustle and bustle that weekend, you and I kept running into each other.
Exactly.
At all the different activities that were going on, the Dog Writers Association and everything. And it was really great because we really kind of got to know each other a little bit. But with all that kind of hustle and bustle and doing, interviews and things like that, it was difficult for me to get Butch and kind of lug him around. It wouldn't have been much fun.
No, and Bo, the only reason that Bo was there was for the Skybark event. He turned right around and went home with his dog handler, Nanny, the next day so that I could go to the event. But so I want you to tell our listeners about Butch and, how you came to write the book and how he came into your life and how he picked you, which I always think is the truth.
Yeah. Well, Butch is 4 years old. He's a Boston Terrier.
Mm-hmm.
And what actually happened, the way this whole thing started was 6 years ago, my mom passed away. Now, Mom at that time, oh, thank you. Mom at that time was 78 years old, and Mom and Dad had been married nearly 60 years. So, the family got together, us kids, my brother and sisters, we all got together and we decided to get Dad a Boston Terrier. Because Dad used to raise Boston Terriers and breed them and show them like 60 years ago. So we thought that this would be good. Yeah, because during this period of time, this is the first time that he's alone, in almost 60 years.
Such a huge transition.
We're a pretty close family, so we stick pretty close to, Mom and Dad through all the years. So we thought it would be a good idea. And it was mainly my sister. I said, I don't know, it might be too soon. No, let's do this. So we did it. And we got Dad Buttons. Okay, Buttons is a little female Boston Terrier, and she was a puppy. And so what ended up happening was, through not thinking about this whole thing and knowing that Dad knows everything there is to know about Boston Terriers, he even had a couple of champions years and years ago. What happened was, within a year, he bred her. And I says, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" He goes, "Don't worry about it." I mean, at this point, he's 80 years old, so who's he going to listen to, right? So he said,
"Not us."
"Don't worry about it." He said, some of the things that have been proven to not be true in the later years here, like if you breed a dog before you have it spay or neutered, well, the female neutered, it's healthier for him. Well, I don't know about that. At that time, I says, who am I to question him? He raised them, So I says, okay, well, whatever, but we got to get ready. He goes, no, I want you to pick one of these before I sell them. I said, Dad, look, I'm too busy. I'm also a Grammy-voting producer, so I produce a lot of music, and I'm very busy and on the run and blah, blah, blah. So he says, no, I'm not selling them until you pick one. So I said, so finally he forced me to pick one. So
do what you're told.
That's right. Yeah. Don't do as I say, not as I do.
Don't give me any lip.
That's right. And he is Dad, so I got to listen to him.
Right.
So anyway, out of, she had 5 in this litter. And the one, I said, okay, finally after some rigmarole, I picked the one that he was the biggest one out of the litter, and he had a dot, perfect dot right on top of his head.
Oh, funny.
And so I kind of started paying attention to him, and he would crawl over to me all the time. So that's kind of how it happened. And so I knew Butch when he was no bigger than my hand.
Love it.
And I says, okay, if I have to pick one, I'll pick this one. And as time went on, the weeks as his eyes are opening, and they're opening slowly, naturally I'm going over to make sure Dad's okay. My office is not too far from where he lives, so it's easy for me to stop by, 3-4 days a week, help him pay some bills, things like that. Okay. And so during the period of time, I realized his eyes were different. And I looked. Yeah, you've seen the picture.
I did. I've seen the picture.
And I looked, and I said, Dad, he's got a blue eye. And he said he doesn't have a blue eye. I said, yes, he does. Come over here. He goes, I've never heard of a Boston Terrier with a blue eye. I says, well, me neither, but he does. Here, look. So we took him out in the sun. So that set him off. He was the only one of the litter that had that. And, he was just unique right off the bat.
Oh,
and...
wow.
Yeah, having him and some of the things that I learned as I was going through. Now, the title of the book's My Buddy Butch, Confessions of a New Dog Dad. I don't have any kids except for Butch, but what I do write about a little bit in the book is single parenthood from the standpoint of I do know a lot of people that are single parents, and I couldn't really appreciate it. Now, I know you can't compare dogs to kids, but in a lot of ways, when kids are young, there's a lot of similarities. And so I started seeing so many similarities in the things I had to do with Butch and the way I treated him, and, hearing people at the pet store over the years when I would go, like if I had a fish tank or, I was there for something or with somebody else, I'd hear, oh, smoochy, want some little treats, things like that. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, come on. I could never do that. I could never
talk to my fish that way.
That's right. Well, no, I mean, people talking to their dogs, like
in
the bigger box stores,
Exactly.
And I'm thinking, oh no, I could never.
Yeah,
what's the matter with these people? And so then, after about, a few months of having Butch around and everything else, I caught myself saying, oh, little smoochy. And then I caught myself and I said, oh no, I'm one of them now. But I'll tell you what, the thing about it is, I couldn't be happier that I have become one of those, because through all the people that I've met through, doing signings and doing readings and online in some of the pet communities, I have run across the nicest people, including yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, anybody who is associated with their pets, their dogs. There seems to be a gentle spirit in those people. Mm-hmm. And I recognize that, dealing with the music industry for so many years, the entertainment business and everything else, you run across a lot of some people who are against the grain and other people rub you the wrong way. I have never, and in the last 6 years, since I've been meeting people, have run across anyone, and I can honestly say this, who had a pet that didn't have a gentle spirit and just was the nicest person to talk to.
Yeah, it's the common denominator.
Absolutely.
It's so great. Well, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, but while we're doing that, I want you to think about your favorite travel anecdote with you and Butch. Do you travel with him much?
Not too much, but we did take a couple of good trips that I can tell you about.
Oh, good. Well, I'll ask you where you stayed and things like that. So, Everybody, please hold on just a few minutes and listen to our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Jeff Marginean, the author of My Buddy Butch.
Attention passengers, please fasten your seatbelts, put your seat backs and sleeping pets in their full upright position, and prepare for takeoff. Travel Tales will be zooming back with more great travel tips right after this.
Greetings, human. What planet am I on?
Welcome to Pet Planet. Here's a copy of Pet Planet Magazine, Florida's most informative and fun pet resource magazine. It features heartwarming stories and informative articles from local and national pet experts.
Excellent.
Pet Planet Magazine offers Operation Planet Rescue, helping rescued pets find new homes. And it's available at 500 locations in South and Central Florida and 24/7 on the internet at petplanetmagazine.com. If you're out and about with your pet, you may be featured in paparazzi, candid pictures of you and your pet. For up-to-date pet-friendly events, activities, and pet-related services and products, Pet Planet Magazine is your final destination.
I shall take this magazine home with me.
Back to your home planet?
No, to my condo in Boca.
Pet Planet Magazine. Check them out at www.petplanetmagazine.com or 352-394-8578. It's out of this world.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. Oh Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Attention passengers, we are now approaching our final destination. The weather is sunny and warm. Ocean temperature is a balmy 80 degrees for those of you wishing to doggy paddle. Please exit to the front and see our activities directors on your way out. Have a pleasant stay.
Hello and welcome back. This is Travel Tales on Pet Life Radio, and I'm your host, Janine Franceschi. And this afternoon I'm talking with Jeff Marginean, the author of My Buddy Butch. And hi, Jeff. Thanks for staying with us.
No
so I wanted to ask you if you and Butch traveled together.
Yes, we do. As busy as I am, I like to keep him with me as much as possible. Sometimes, when we're not traveling, I take him over to Dad's, and he hangs out with his mom and his brother, and they play and everything. But, there's a lot of opportunity that I have traveling around that I can take him with me. Now, most of it is driving. And Butch, as many dogs probably are, he'll look around and everything, but then about 2-3 miles down the road, bam, he's laying down, he's out. So that's good. That's the good thing.
Exactly.
So last summer, in just before around the 4th of July, we had the opportunity to go do a reading in Bar Harbor, Maine.
Oh, beautiful.
And so we're in Ohio here, so I said, you know what, we're just going to drive, because I love to drive because it just helps me clear my mind. And Butch, he has no aversion to the car, so, he's ready to go. Anytime I say, come on, let's go, so he'll jump right in. So we drove, and it was a 17-hour drive from where I'm at to Bar Harbor, Maine, and, across Pennsylvania and everything. Now, in the old days, before Butch, that's BB, okay, instead of BC, this is BB.
Exactly.
Everything's before Butch.
Right.
What happened was I would go, and the only time I would stop is when I had to get gas, period, or drive through McDonald's, and bam, I'm eating on the highway, and I'm going to Florida, and I'm driving here and driving there. But with Butch, it was different, because he actually, when he would wake up after a few hours, he would start to hit my hand. And then it hit me. It didn't take long for me to get it, because, he was 3 years old at that time, that, okay, he has to go out. So we would stop and smell the roses and anything else he might deposit. But nevertheless, the thing is, it really made it such a nicer trip, because we stopped along the way at a lot of areas where I could take him and take a walk around and just, relax, stop and see some of the sights between here and the coast. And when we got to Bar Harbor, Maine, I was doing a reading there for one of the online communities invited me. It was before the book was even released, and that was released in September. So I did a reading. We stayed at the Atlantic Oaks Hotel, which is right on the coast. A very nice hotel. It has very good amenities. Has very pet friendly.
Fantastic.
Yes, the staff and everybody there in Bar Harbor is there. They have restaurants and everything in those areas where they have outside terraces, and you can go, and they have a lot of them have like outside lawn places where you can go and eat dinner, and your pet is right there with you. So he was able to really kind of stay with me for most everything I did. One of the favorite things that we used to do is I was there for about 5 days total, and we would go up on Cadillac Mountain. And Cadillac Mountain is in the National Park, which is right across the street from the Atlantic Oaks, right in Bar Harbor. It's very easy to get in and out of. Not a lot of traffic. There's traffic from tourists and stuff there, but it was comfortable. And this is, the height of tourist season.
Right.
So it was very nice. So we would drive up to Cadillac Mountain, and we'd get out and walk around there. You can watch the sunrise.
I was going to say, that's the first sunrise of the new year every year is Cadillac Mountain, isn't it?
That's correct. That's the highest point east of the Mississippi.
There's been a long going back and forth between Cadillac Mountain and Nantucket, where I live. And so everyone runs out to the beach, New Year's morning to see if we can see it before Cadillac Mountain.
That's great. Now, do you guys have somebody on the phone to someone?
We
on
do.
Cadillac?
There's an astronomy place, the Maria Mitchell here. Observatory,
Okay.
Thank you. And they are on their cell phones from the Sankaty Head Light up to the mountain. So it's pretty great.
It's a contest.
It is. It is. But that's fantastic. Well, we will have, Bo and I will have to add Bar Harbor to our list of places to visit. It's almost a little bit too close for us. We wanted to go adventuring out in the world, so. But that's a little bit closer to home, and we could certainly do that.
Well, there's another one. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but there's another one that here in Ohio, it's called Hocking Hills State Park, just south of Columbus in the southern part of Ohio. Very pet-friendly area.
Fantastic.
And we haven't been there yet, and it's only, about 3-hour drive from where we're at. But that's our next road trip. We're going to head down there because, hey, there's a lot of jewels close to where you live.
Exactly. Well, you'll have to keep us posted and let us know what you find, and we can take the Luxury Paw site. Tell me, I know that you have so many different components to this project that you love so much. There's the book, My Buddy Butch. There's also MBB, which is MBB Radio.
Right.
So you can tell us a little bit about that. And I know that you've got a sequel coming up?
Yes. The sequel,
okay.
Actually, I have, there's a few publishers that are interested in the sequel. Now, the first one was done by my company, Jamar Entertainment. Okay.
Right.
It's an entertainment company that's been around for 20 years. I've done a lot of work, New York, L.A., Nashville, producing music. Had a lot of CDs that were considered for Grammys. That's how I got involved with that. But being an entertainment company and a programmer, I went to college. I have an engineering degree. So, I'm kind of a very technically oriented kind of a dual, schizo personality here because I have the artistic side, which is a large part, but yet I have the technical side. And
which a lot of artists don't have, so that's great.
I know they clash all the time.
Yeah.
I lose a lot of sleep over it. But anyway, the thing is, doing the programming for the website was terrific. I love to program. I love to do a lot of that stuff. I have programmers in the company that do websites and stuff like that. But when it comes to my personal projects, I do those. And, unless it's something that I say, hey, we need to beef up the blog a little bit because it's too plain. I just had the framework on there. But yeah, there's a blog. The website has won 2 years running a American Association of Webmasters Award, and the blog is part of that. And we're going to be beefing up the blog a little bit. Now, MBB Radio kind of stemmed from the fact that we are an entertainment company. And back when I was in college, I did radio. I was Captain Chaos, I think, or some crazy name. I don't remember what it was. But in writing also, see, most of my writing experience came from technical stuff. I was doing a lot of technical work, contracts for the record label, for the entertainment company, a lot of legal documentation and things like that. And going through college, I did have, my college credits finished by the time I was out of high school. But then they made me take it some more, and I hated it. So anyway, yeah, I did. So go figure. Here I am writing a whole book. So the book was part of my experiences with Butch. A lot of funny stuff in there. There's some sad things in there, too, about Mom passing away, and that's actually how it all started. But rolling that into the fact that we bought Dad a puppy, from a breeder, reputable breeder here locally, then finding out more and more the extent to which people are adopting and the breed-specific rescues that are available out there today prompted a lot of what we're doing with MBB Radio, which is My Buddy Butch, MBB Radio.
Okay.
We're going to be moving into syndication this year. So those wheels have started turning already.
Fantastic.
So, the thing about it the basis of it is we want to cover rescues in all 50 states. Most of the bigger ones get a lot of airtime. But what we want to do is we want to try and get everybody involved and try and pull. And there's a lot of great organizations that are doing this from the standpoint of helping with smaller rescues and shelters with donations and things when they can. But a lot of these places are really on their own. So what we're trying to do is shine the light a little bit on that, put a little bit of an entertainment spin on it. Like your show. It's a fantastic show, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and educate the public a little bit more about these breed-specific adoptions. They don't have to go buy a puppy. at a puppy store or a puppy mill. These places are not good.
People don't know unless the education just keeps coming.
That's right, and you have to really hammer it in, and that's just it. I don't think, knowing what I know now, I don't think I would have gotten Dad a puppy because of all the mess. You know, there's a lot of things. He's 80 years old.
Exactly.
At that time, and so if I would have been able to get him a Boston Terrier that was maybe 5, 6 years old, kind of midlife, was already kind of settled down a little bit for him. So we're looking for those types of things to educate the public on breed-specific rescues, because you can get any kind of dog that your heart desires and rescue a dog that's very good and very deserving.
Absolutely.
So that's where
there's a lot of love left to give.
Oh yes.
In their lives. Well, that's fantastic.
That's right, and that's why out of the book stemmed what we're doing with the radio show now, just to try and get more of that out there.
It's amazing how this one idea can bloom into all these different areas, and the things that, I mean, not only you're educating people, but the education you've gained in writing this book that has nothing to do with the book. You know, I mean, it's got all of these other different tentacles out there that touch other things. And then tell me about you have a sequel coming up to My Buddy Butch?
Yes, the sequel right now, and I don't know how much I can say about it because I'm talking to a few publishers, but I can tell you
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned, and the thing about it is, I can go as far as to say, now that Butch is older, he was very put off by the fact that I didn't put more of his opinions in the first book.
So now that's understandable. Yeah.
He's speaking out, and he's very upset with me about talking about his various bodily functions and things like that to the general public.
Embarrassing. Yes.
Yeah, he's not happy with me.
When we were on tour, we had a pet intuitive who wanted to talk with Bo, and she kept saying to me, "Don't you want to know what Bo thinks of the trip?" And I kept saying, "No." I don't. Yeah. Because if I give this dog a vote, I am in big trouble.
Yeah, call me when I get home and let me know then. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure that Butch has some valuable things to add.
Oh, yes, very much so. Being a Boston Terrier and his little idiosyncrasies, yeah, he tends to honk and do some things that are pretty funny, actually.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And this, what you were talking about with the MBB radio, is that part of the My Buddy Butch Foundation?
Okay, now, with the My Buddy Butch, here's something that grew out of the radio, okay? There's the My Buddy Butch Foundation, which right now we're doing the initial business plan and selecting board members for that so that we can help and do some large-scale things that are going to aid some of the smaller rescue groups in conjunction with, not in opposition to, but in conjunction with what the larger organizations are doing. I mean, we've talked with people from the ASPCA. We're in constant contact with the AKC, who are
okay. So it's almost how can we supplement your programs?
Exactly. I don't want to reinvent the wheel here because they're already doing it and doing such a great job. We want to try and come in and maybe fill the gaps on a smaller, at a lower level to some of the smaller ones that.
Well, I bet there's a huge need. I bet there's so many institutions clamoring for the big attention that so many people must fall through the cracks.
And absolutely, it is. It's true. And since last September, we've been able to kind of gauge what we're looking at covering all 50 states and the rescues and stuff that are involved in those states for breed-specific and some of the all animals, cats, dogs. We're not just focusing on dogs, but we try to help any animals that are in need due to like the flood damage from hurricanes, things like that, animals that are displaced, those kinds of emergency things. We also want to be able to help in a little bit quicker manner than, let's say, some of the larger organizations. They're there and they help, but we might be able to supplement.
The wheels move pretty slowly, absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's part of what's grown out of that. Not only that, but we're also looking at, and this is my technical side encroaching on the creative, is that we're looking at right now. We designed the My Buddy Butch seal of approval. Okay. And what that is it's going to turn into a kind of, I guess you could say, an auditing type situation, where we're going to be looking at products, pet products, things that are available, just like stuff that you buy for kids.
Right.
And they recall them because they have sharp edges, or they have this, or it has a potential to fall apart. So we're going to be looking at that program from like a UL or an underwriter's laboratory approach to doing that for companies. Absolutely. And Butch is the principal tester.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Now people are going to, don't email me because you think I'm using Butch for animal testing. Okay. I don't want 1,000 emails about that, because that's not the case. Okay.
No, that's right. That's not what I said.
yeah, exactly. But no, there's a lot of great companies out there, and we've been involved with many of them, sending some products in, and we've reviewed them, and Butch has reviewed them, and he likes some, and he's with some of the other ones. But the thing is,
when it gets too big, Bo would be happy to be his assistant.
Absolutely. We can get Bo in there. She can be the executive vice president.
Exactly. Chew toys.
There you go.
Absolutely. And then the one other thing I wanted to touch on before I let you go, because we're almost out of time. We've got about three minutes left. But tell me about My Buddy Butch Book Club. What is that?
The My Buddy Butch Book Club, actually, that's probably the closest thing we have to getting going. Now, what that's going to be is we're focusing on animal books. Doesn't have to be just dogs or cats. It can be horses and lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. So it can be any of that, anything having to do with animals, okay? And what we're going to be doing is we have people here that read the books, okay, and they love animal books, so they're constantly reading them. As a matter of fact, we have a backlog that they've already read that we have to get authors on the show. And we're going to be moving it forward and recommending books and saying what we're reading and starting discussions through the blog. And it's going to be through actually the MBB radio blog. And what'll happen is we'll just start a little book community in conjunction with some of the other dog communities that are out there online, and with all the people that are reading books to tell us what they like and what they don't like and things like that.
That sounds great. I love the interaction.
Yeah.
Capacity
and it's like I said, it's so much fun to talk to everybody from the authors to just anybody who owns a dog.
Absolutely.
They love to talk. They love to talk. Do. They really do, and animals in general. So
I love it. Does Butch have his own Facebook page?
No, not yet, but he was talking to me about that last night.
Yeah.
He wants to start to Twitter. He wants his own cell phone.
He needs to Twitter. He and Bo can Twitter back and forth.
There you go. So now I have to stop on the way home from work and get him a cell phone.
Oh, well, make sure it has a camera.
Yeah.
You never know. If you put it on his collar, what good shots you'll get.
That's right. That's for sure.
Very funny. Jeff, do me a favor and just recap for everybody the website address and how people can find My Buddy Butch Radio and the other things you've mentioned.
And the other stuff. Okay, mybuddybutch.com, MyBuddyButch.com. You can also Google My Buddy Butch. It's the first thing that'll come up. Or you can even Google my name, Jeff Marginean, Marginean.
Okay.
And that's the website. The book is My Buddy Butch, Confessions of a New Dog Dad. That's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Borders, and a slew of other places that I don't even know about yet.
Fantastic.
They're coming in. Yeah, they're coming in every day. I can't keep up. You might want to check your local library, too. So you can check it out there, too. It's starting to pour in from there. And, the radio show, you can get to it from the front page of MyBuddyButch.com.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It was such a pleasure to meet you, and I'm so excited about all these different projects you have going on. It's really fantastic. And I love your energy level. So great.
The pleasure was mine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have to have you on.
I would love that.
We're going to get that scheduled.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Well, that was Jeff Marginean, the author of My Buddy Butch, my new friend from New York. And thank you so much for joining us today on Pet Life Radio for Travel Tales. My name's Janine Franceschi. I'm your host and the owner of PAW, Pet Friendly Accommodations Worldwide, online at www.luxurypaw.com. And thank you for sharing your time with us today. Hope to see you next time.
Attention passengers, please fasten your seatbelts, put your seat bags and sleeping pets in their full upright position, and prepare for takeoff. Pet Life Radio presents Travel Tales, the show where you'll get great travel ideas on perfect places for you and your pet. From Paris to paradise, south of the border to the South Seas, Travel Tales will give you cool tips on fun vacation destinations to travel with your pet, pet-friendly hotels, and advice on how to travel safely and happily with your furry best friends. So, get ready to pack the bags and the bones with Travel Tales, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.